Welcome to the Sunday edition of Beerfield Fantasy Football. I am your host at Hot BFF with two P's, Christopher Hopper, because we're on first name basis this year. I am not being joined by anybody today because Dan, I'd imagine, is still recovering from a wedding hangover. He will be back with me on Monday, and I believe for every show next week. So as normal on Sunday, going to give you some late breaking inactives, some last minute news here, go over any potential problems with the weather, and try to answer any questions that may pop up. So go ahead and start with some late inactives. Marshawn Lattimore inactive for the Saints. This is always a possibility. The reason we're talking about a cornerback is pretty easy. That means P.J. Williams and Eli Apple get the outside, plus matchup for Mike Evans and Chris Godwin in that case. Le'Veon Bell's officially active for the Jets, plus matchup for him. So don't hesitate to run him out here. As expected, Will Fuller inactive for the Texans. He actually didn't travel with the team. Matthew Stafford not going to play this week, so Jeff Driscoll gets another start for Detroit. He was all right. It is a little bit of a fade, especially given how good Dallas's corners have been to Marvin Jones and Kenny Golladay. Jordan Howard's inactive for the Eagles. Leaves workhorse duties to Miles Sanders. Jay Ajayi filling in as needed. Jordan Howard had at least been seeing touches between the tackles back, so sounds like Miles Sanders is finally going to get his chance with Jay Ajayi just being signed. David Montgomery game time decision for the night game versus the Rams, so ensure you have, like, if Tariq Cohen's been dropped, just ensure you have somebody else if you plan on starting David Montgomery. Emmanuel Sanders is going to play Week 11 against the Cardinals. I had seen some suspicion, if you will. Hollywood or Debo and half point PPR. What's up, Dylan? So Sanders playing, Debo's matchup looked plus. With Sanders playing, it does take a little bit of the heat off of Debo. I would tend to say, with as bad as the Texans outside it's been, try to hit a home run and go ahead and play Hollywood, because I think the floor might be similar. I think that Ravens-Texans game could be a shootout, though, so I'm going to say go ahead and play Hollywood. What I was going to say about Sanders, which is a question very on topic right there, is that I've seen on Twitter a lot of people think Sanders is going to be a decoy. It was a rib injury, so as long as the pain is pretty well managed, he shouldn't be hampered in his legs or anything that a wide receiver necessarily has to use. I mean, yeah, breathing. But as long as the pain is managed well enough for him to play, I don't think that's a decoy scenario with Emmanuel Sanders. I think he's going to get target volume. And yeah, Kittle's missing, so Debo should have some nice floor. But just the upside of Hollywood Brown is something I'm a fan of. No problem, Dylan. Good luck. Some other things that have come out as far as workload this morning. So Diana Rossini did say Marquise Brown didn't look as comfortable as expected in pregame warm-ups. He's obviously not 100%, but I'm just not worried about Marquise Brown. He's been playing through injuries plus matchup, big play guy. Philip Lindsay is expected to get more of the carries week 11 than Royce Freeman. So I don't know if this is a shift in philosophy for the Broncos, but they're going to ride Philip Lindsay a little bit more. It is not as bad of a matchup as Minnesota looks to be on paper. So, bump up to Philip Lindsay, and if you're debating Royce Freeman or somebody else, maybe off on Royce Freeman a little bit. Looking at weather, there is no real weather to report, nothing that's going to impact it. No real surprises as the inactives continue to come out. Everybody that we expected to play looks to be playing for the most part. Everybody we didn't expect to play appears to be on the bench. So, that Dan here. Give it a little more time if anybody has questions. Oh, sorry, Colton, I completely missed you, buddy. Albert Wilson or Rex Burkhead? Albert Wilson's interesting. Burkhead's a little scary with Sony Michel, James White, and you're splitting that up. I'd go ahead and throw Albert Wilson out there with Preston Williams being hurt. Devontae Parker figures to get top coverage from the Bills. So, go ahead and Albert Wilson in that scenario. Doesn't feel great, but a lot of people are in a lot of bad situations as far as injuries and bye weeks and concerned. So, go ahead and make a couple of those ugly choices as well. I've got nothing else coming here. Nothing new popping. Um, but yeah, Colton, Dylan, thank you very much. I know that these Sunday streams have gotten a little bit shorter, a little bit more compressed, especially when we do them solo, because there's just not as much to talk about amongst yourselves. Having a conversation with yourself is difficult. If you guys do have questions, that are tuned in, feel free to tweet me directly at hotbff with two P's, and get those questions answered. I'll be paying attention to that up until kickoff. So, thank you guys very much for showing up, tuning in. Dan and I will be back with you Monday. Talk about all of the happenings from Week 11, and good luck weathering the massive wide receiver injuries and bye weeks. See ya.